Hello guys, I'm CBMF Productions and welcome back to Nick Games Retrospective. Today we'll be looking at the second game from the boy genius himself, and the first of his to be based off a TV movie, Jimmy Neutron Jet Fusion. This game was released a couple years after the infamous Jimmy Neutron movie game, and at this point, the Jimmy Neutron series was already running regularly on Nickelodeon, and they want some more games based on the boy genius. So THQ got Crumb Studios to make this game, based on the upcoming TV movie of the same name. They're most known for making the Tide of Tasmanian Tiger series. The game, like the majority of the games in this series, got the original voice cast to come in and do their lines, and the game was finished and developed in 2003 for the GameCube and the PS2. There was also a handheld GBA version, but we're not going to cover that version for this video. The game received mixed and negative reviews from critics and audiences alike, and due to low sales, a planned version for the original Xbox was cancelled, and it's now kind of fading into obscurity, and it's not really talked about as much as some other Nickelodeon games I've discussed previously. But does it deserve that reputation, or should it be rehydrated? Well, before we get into that, let's get into the plot. The game starts out with a cutscene of the show's most famous villain, Professor Calamitous, playing an evil scheme that he's sure of that his arch nemesis Jimmy Neutron won't be able to stop him. Then we get to a title character, movie star and spy Jet Fusion, working on an action movie set with only 4 people for some reason, until Jet gets a notification on his phone about a danger of some sort, and Parago has a way to find it. Then we get to our first actual game cutscene of Jimmy Neutron's skull messing Cindy's hair up with the device before changing her back to her normal self. Despite the fact she never wore pigtails in the show, I believe that was only from the original movie, but that's just nitpicking. Then Jimmy gets called up by his teacher Miss Fowl, who sounds like the most depressed teacher I've heard in my life.
Remember, everyone, after recess, your book reports are due.
I'd be depressed too if I shared the same name as our Miss Fowl. So Miss Fowl orders Jimmy to see Coach Levi in the gym for his punishment due to enlarging a turtle at the aquarium a week before.
But how was I supposed to know the turtle's bimolecular polarity was neutrally charged from Joniosome stock coral in Mumbai?
Where's that game? Anyways, Jimmy goes to see Coach Levi, and he thinks what Jimmy did was cool, and doesn't want to punish him, so he just lets Jimmy play around the gym, which is basically our tutorial level. We get one single jump, just like the previous Jimmy Neutron game, but you do get to shimmy on ledges, climb ladders, bounce on platforms, and most importantly, Jimmy can get these invention pieces, and when he gets all of these pieces, he gets a very poorly animated brain blast, and we get an invention in our arsenal that we can change at any moment. And there's also these purple floor machines that act as checkpoints.
Installation complete.
Oh god, they made Goddard speak?
A neutron icon will appear if an object can be pushed or pulled.
That voice sounds so unnatural and creepy. I haven't been this dumbfounded hearing a silent character talk since the Tom and Jerry movie. So after the tutorial level, Jimmy tries to find pieces to make a machine that can visualize books as holograms to the classroom, called the Virtual World Reproduction Machine for his book report.
Let's go, Goddard!
Is Goddard actually speaking, or is this a Candle Cove situation? Regardless, Jimmy invents a laser gun so he can defeat these bullies throwing footballs at you, but not the ones that have basketballs that sound like Stitch trying to impersonate Al Pacino.
Say hello to my little friend.
So after Jimmy gets done shooting up the school, he gets his invention together and shows the classroom, or just Sheen and Cindy, a Jet Fusion book, his idol, and brings it to life. But then it malfunctions after looking like the chess game on the Millennium Falcon, and opens up a portal to bring these fictional characters to life like Jumanji, and now Retroville is in chaos. So then we get to the next level of Jimmy outside the school at night, wearing a gi, looking like he's ready to join Miyagi-Do or Kill Bill, but then Jimmy gets a call from Jet Fusion himself.
Jet? Jet Fusion?
Damn! Look at my fucking forehead!
Who are you, kid? What are you doing on this frequency?
Why are your pupils so goddamn huge? So Jet Fusion, who's an actual person that exists in this universe and not just a fictional character like I thought at first, got captured by Professor Calamitous when Jimmy opened up the portal, and now is stuck in his hazy and can't remember things. But since there's nobody else, he gives Jimmy a map that leads to his location so he can rescue him, and says he'll give Jimmy tips along the way. So then Jimmy goes around shooting janitors, it seems like, but also getting collectibles along the way, such as these nav chips, which are basically like World Star coins, where you need to have a certain amount of them to advance to further levels. There's also candy pieces that can unlock images in the gallery, and movie objects that look like lanterns, that if you destroy them on the level, you can unlock clips from the actual TV movie. So Jimmy runs around his hometown that's been transformed into Japan, collecting objects and shooting people up, along with finding a sumo or just playing patty cake with him.
Nobody has ever defeated me before.
Why are his hands so huge, and why does Goddard sound like Clint Eastwood?
Right, kid. I understand its power now.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
This game is freaking me out. So then Jimmy invents this magnetic turner that can act as an array gun and can pull metal loaders up or down, and shoot specific crates, and it's the invention that you see on the cover.
Well, people have always said I've got a magnetic personality.
So then Jimmy has to race against this racial stereotype of a goon in a very poorly controlled racing section. I am sure there won't be any sections like that for the rest of the game. so you race a until you beat him.
I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
No, my wheels.
Is this guy voiced by Rob Schneider?
He no pay for his 4 scorpion ball.
Then Jimmy shoots some more guys with Plankton's bucket helmets, and then he creates the chopstick launcher. Wow, that's insensitive, Jimmy. Then he knocks on the Berlin Wall as we head up to the next level, which is set in this mystic shrine where we have to steal an idol from Ultra Ninja Lord, a henchman of Professor Calamitous, which is one of the MacGuffins that we have to hunt down to stop this madness, and there are 3 that we need to collect. So watch, rinse, repeat. We shoot some shit, get some items and collectibles to build shit, run through a hedge maze like you're Danny Torrance being chased down by your father with an axe, Goddard being creepy.
Goddard is a good dog.
Tiptoe through the window.
There's a hall of mirrors, many Ultra toys you have to fight, a door opener that tries to kill Jimmy. Okay. Then we head up to the main dojo where Ultra Ninja Lord, aka Sheen, in a really bad costume that's almost as bad as a spin-off, is very much due to the book affecting his psyche, Winter Soldier style, as Jimmy has to fight these tiny robots, which have been proven that can be being at ease, as Jimmy has to fight Sheen by chasing up this dojo, but don't expect anything like Police Story here. It's just Jimmy shooting Sheen a couple of times, and him running upstairs as we make it all the way up to his bedroom. And no, this doesn't turn into a DeviantArt fanfiction. Sheen just gets shot a couple more times and passes out as Jimmy gets the idol, but not before Calamitous sneaks behind him and takes it from his hands.
Too slow, Mr. Neutron.
Come on, step it up!
But then it turns on Calamitous as Jimmy retrieves the idol and heads up to the next level. We go to the jungle where Jimmy looks like a knockoff codename Kid Next Door, as Jimmy needs to go to the top of the volcano through a path in the jungle. But Jimmy must stay clear from the cannibals because the volcano is right by the cannibal village. And no, I'm not joking about that, that's what the game literally says.
There's a path through the jungle that'll take you there. Unfortunately, it stops right in a cannibal village. Keep an eye out. They look kinda hungry and might want a snack.
How the hell is this game rated E for everyone? So Jimmy just shows his way through shooting cannibals and Venus flashdrives because why not?
Here you go, boy!
Goddard River Raft upgrade installing.
Oh, I'm sorry, am I interrupting the game? Then we have to race against the cannibal in the swamp.
Hello, big-headed one! I am the gatekeeper!
I'm so tempted to make a Shrek joke because the bones stick out like Shrek ears. But regardless, we do another terrible racing segment to move on, as we do more platforming, and I mean a lot of platforming, until Jimmy makes this magnetic shield that saves the village from these boulders crushing the village, until they do. Then we head inside the volcano to obtain the second of the 3 idols.
We've got to keep going! We have to stop Calamitous!
Yeah, that's cool and all, but can we also mention the fact that Jimmy's just casually shooting dragons in the caverns and crushing them with boulders? Then Jimmy goes on a roller coaster ride and gets his own mech suit to walk through the lava, but ends up failing on him and then Goddard saves him. Also, what was the point of making that machine if Goddard could just do that for you?
See? No sweat.
You had one job.
Then we make it to the crater of the volcano as evil Mrs. Fowl comes out the depths of hell to shoot fireballs at Jimmy, but after blowing her enough times. Wait, I don't mean like that. After pushing her into the water enough times with your air blur or whatever, we get the second idol, despite Calamitous' best effort to stop us.
This one is mine, Neutron.
Okay, how is this man able to sneak up on Jimmy without making a sound? Is he Agent 47? I mean, the bald head matches.
I will be able to, but now I must... Lost you, Neutron.
You can't keep getting away with it!
So then we have to go to the shipping dock to find an undersea lab where the third idol is. I don't know why Jimmy's wearing the pirate suits, but hey, at least he's got the spirit. So then Jimmy has to do a lot of acrobatic work jumping between these pirate ships like the developers just took the notes from Battle for Bikini Bottom, as we have to help out what I believe is the captain with this really weird afro and capture his escaped birds as Goddard, who controls no better than when he was a boat or a tricycle. Then we do some more platforming, and then we have to do the shoot 'em up House of the Dead nonsense challenge where we just shoot 60 pirates so we can create a bubblegum gun that can stick people or objects in their place. Then we fish for a life preserver, do another race, then we make it to the sub as we head under the sea.
Aye, Captain.
Goddard, stop being creepy. So then we head underwater to even more dire docks.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It's great to be underwater again, Goddard. course, this submarine is nothing compared to my Neutron sub.
Stop being such a smartass, Jimmy. We all know what happened the last time you invented that transportation device. Wow, I'm starting to sound like Cindy. This game is making me very cynical. So Jet informs Jimmy that Calamitous is heading down to the ocean as well to make a deal with the Queen of the Sea, I guess. So Ariel? Ursula? Mara? Please don't let it be her. That's the face of true evil. Anyways, we have to travel in Jimmy's sub underwater and shoot things together through the trenches. And for a game of this quality and being underwater, the water physics really aren't the best. Then we have to find Octopus, but it's not playing the drums, as we have to shoot its limbs until it dies. Yeah, screw Undersea Live, it's not like they have an ecosystem or anything.
Whew, that was close, Goddard.
Again, how the hell is this ready to eat for everyone? So then Jimmy sub travels around some more, shoots some icicles, until we get enough pieces to make a Pixar lamp. And then we head into the underwater lab, as Jimmy has to fight a Loch Ness monster, Cindy, and her dog, as we have to use a sticky gun to keep the dog at bay, and then stop these engines to pass gas in Cindy's face. Why am I making so many gross descriptions? Well, I gotta be funny somehow, for the people watching, if anyone's still watching up to this point. But after enough time of doing it, you defeat Cindy, and Calamitous shows up with this new device. But as shown, he's an incompetent bastard that only wants us around accidentally.
Now my neutron trapper will...
So sleepy.
So then we wake up and fall in New Vegas, it seems like, as we have to go off to get Jet Fusion and Calamitous, who are in the space station orbiting the Earth. So we do the same old platforming, get new gadgets, do more puzzles, more knocks from Battle for Bikini Bottom. We even get our own SpongeBob section here, which is more like the movie game, but I digress. So after doing some more puzzles and rolling around, Jimmy and his sweet Tux, along with creepy Goddard, narrowly escape these robots, with Jimmy saying Jet Fusion's famous catchphrase,
Goddard jet! Goddard, jetboard!
But I'm gonna be butt ass naked so the wind could just be hitting my balls and shit. Hey bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
So then we do some more extreme sliding down this hill, trying to be like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but control like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. And then they make it to the rocket.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Goddard, what's going on? There are 2 moons!
You're surprised by that, but you're not surprised that you can breathe in space without any astronaut suit. Then Jimmy and Goddard made it to Calamitous and Jet Fusion, with Jimmy trying to stop Calamitous' robot, looking like a reject from Real Steel. As Jimmy builds his own robot, a lemon head sticking out of a trash can, but then Jimmy has to go through multiple mini sections of challenges to put this robot together as the evil robot is attacking Jimmy. But after you make the evil robot punch all these idols, you get the power to control the Jimmy bot, as the game calls it, where all it does is skate around and shoot bubblegum, and spin the robot a couple of times. And after getting all these engines stuck along with the robot, and dodging his attacks enough times, the robot and Calamitous are defeated, as Jimmy, Goddard, and Jet escape before Calamitous' base explodes as he fades away. Then when Jimmy gets back to Earth, he reprograms the machine to turn Retroville back to normal, as Jet thanks Jimmy for what he did, as things are mostly back to normal now, as credits roll and the game ends. The biggest positive I can give the game is that it's a gigantic step from the Jimmy Neutron movie game. It's more technologically advanced than that previous game, actually looking like a 6th generation 3D platformer, as opposed to the previous Jimmy Neutron game that looked like an N64 game that was shelved for 7 years. The models of the characters are a lot better, the game's a better hub world, there's a better atmosphere in the fact that it feels like a Jimmy Neutron episode, granted it's based off one, and it's not as lifeless and creepy as the previous game, but it still has its creepy moments here and there.
I have a play dead mode.
There were a handful of lines that gave me chuckles. The updated power system had its moments, and it had a good variety of what Jimmy was able to invent. The music was serviceable and fits the game. The voice actor for the main cast reprising the roles from the show do well and what they're supposed to do. It has a good selection of levels, from locations being sent to a volcano, to a school, to a pirate ship, and more. The game has a fairly smooth narrative about getting these idols and what we're supposed to do, and it's definitely a game. Yes. This may be a step up from the Jimmy Neutron movie game, but it's still not a good game in my opinion. This is coming from somebody who, apart from the Big Skies games, I pretty much recommended all the games in the series thus far, but I do not enjoy this game whatsoever. The first major issue of the game is that its pacing is really dreadful. The game has a simple story about getting these idols, but eventually go on isn't fun. The game is so rinse and repeat with its combat and gameplay that it wasn't fun to play through. Not to mention the controls are very stiff and the platform is so frustrating due to Jimmy moving like a penguin with his little waddle, and giving Jimmy only one jump doesn't really help that as well. And any of the racing sequences are dreadful, because the controls are just all thrown out the window. The boss battles are all weak, and most of them don't give you what you're supposed to do, and it's just a mess. Not to mention the life system is another thing that adds nothing to make it easier. Another major thing that makes these levels really forgettable and harder to finish is the lighting. The majority of these levels are damn near pitch black, and it makes it hard to see what's the next platform you're supposed to jump on. And it makes the game look ugly in a lot of spots. Even the level selection screen is really hard to see. How am I supposed to distinguish these levels? The collectibles aren't fun to collect, and there's so many of them that don't serve any purpose, apart from one that requires you to collect to advance to further levels. They introduce being pointless later to get piled piled on that I just don't like. The cutscenes aren't the best either, because obviously the animation hasn't held up well since 2003, and the audio mixing, similar to what I talked about breaking the rules, there's something about the way the actors' lines were recorded just sound off. And some of the voice acting is very bad also. The worst example being Goddard's voice, which genuinely creeps me out and is very inconsistent. In some scenes he just barks like he normally does, but then he'll just start speaking like a normal person out of nowhere, and it just throws me off. I haven't seen every episode of the show, but if he talks as much as a human like he does a dog, I understand why the show got cancelled early. And a lot of the side characters don't have the best voice talents in the world, and it's very distracting. Another issue with the audio is also the sound effects. They seem so off, and feel like the developers just randomly drop them in, and don't mix them with the scenes. And the game surprisingly doesn't really have a lot of the side characters we grown to know and love from the show. No Carl, no Hugh, no Libby, no Nick, no Judy, no Bowlby. So it makes the game feel empty in my opinion. And the game just feels very generic in my opinion, and it's a game that took me multiple sessions to finish it, which is the only Nickelodeon game where I've done that thus far. Overall, Jimmy Neutron Jet Fusion is not a good game in my opinion. It does have good aspects that does make it better than the Jimmy Neutron movie game. Also, just as a side note, I haven't played the special the game's based on, so I really can't tell how accurate the game is, but standing on its own, it's just not a fun game. It's just really frustrating to get through the janky controls, the bad lighting, the comedy mostly not landing, the audio mixing being quite messy, the generic feeling the game has to it, the boss battles and racing sequences not being fun, and just feels like another Rush licensed game with no personality. And I can't see children picking this game up and having a good time with it, or even finishing it, because how janky the game is. And if it wasn't for this retrospective, I wouldn't have finished the game, because it nearly took me a month to finish it to play it in pieces. It's not the worst game ever made, it's not as bad as a previous Jimmy Neutron game, but it's not as ironically bad as that game is, where I can play that game in a faster clip, and I can have a better time laughing at how poorly designed the game is. This game is too well made to have that experience in my opinion. It's a game that, although may not be abysmal, it's a game that I don't plan on replaying anytime soon. I give Jimmy Neutron Jet Fusion a D+, a 3.5 out of 10, and a skip recommendation. So that's Jimmy Neutron Jet Fusion. What do you guys think about it? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. I'm CBMF Productions, and I'll see you on the next level.
Games.